Good evening and welcome to another edition of the Crazy Chris Special Edition Talk Show. Tonight is June the 20th, 2014. We have a special edition planned for you tonight. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. And y'all are just not going to believe it. We have two guest speakers tonight. Join us live right here tonight at the KGTR FM studios. Man, I hope you told everybody because we got a great show planned for you. If you haven't told your friends and family yet, get on that phone right now as we're going through announcements. Get on there and tell them to tune in because this is going to be an awesome show. We got a great guest speaker, never before here at the studio, ready to rip it up, tear it up. And I'm going to introduce her here in just a second. And, of course, we have our other guest speaker, y'all know. Ms. Sharee Walters is in the house as well today. So we're going to be introducing her into the mix here just shortly. This is the Rompapalooza edition special, okay? This is not an actual Crazy Chris talk show, so we will not be having a number assigned this. This is Rompapalooza number 2. Alrighty, now, last week we did do, we talked about show number 88-3. What a success. Thank you, y'all. I just want y'all to know that thank you for making the Crazy Chris talk show number 1 in all of Central Texas and beyond in the world. We went over our 85,000 listener marks. Thank you for all the hard work y'all are doing out there. I'm hoping tonight we're anticipating over 100,000 listeners. We're going to hit that 100,000 mark. Y'all going to take the show all the way to syndication to the Showtime networks. We can do it. I knew we could. Congratulations, all of y'all listeners out there. It was not possible without your hard work. So, with that being said, let me go on and let's get announcements because we got a great show planned. I'm not going to linger too much on the announcements. Right, Miss Sharee?
Whatever, seeing is believing.
Okay, I want to get these announcements really out of the way because I can't wait to introduce my guest speakers. I'm fixing to turn them loose tonight. We got a great show. We got a great show for y'all. Now, I'm not going to spoil what it's about just yet. Okay, now, Crying, Loving, Leaving is coming. I'm telling you right now. Miss Sharee's showing her and shaking her head. No, it is. Crying, Loving, Leaving is coming in July. Okay?
I thought it was June.
No, this is June now.
I know. That's my point.
Coming in July. Don't forget that we're still filming the Crazy Chris Life Beats, which will be episode number 1. Life of a Homeless Person should be airing sometime in August on our YouTube channel. You don't want to miss it. I spent a day on the streets with homeless people and how they have to go through what they go through. We told y'all about this. It's a great show. Y'all don't want to miss it. It'll be aired audio version first on the radio, and then we'll be airing that on our YouTube channel. So look for Crazy Chris Life Beats. We are wrapping up recording now this month. I can't wait for that to come out. Y'all going to be so, it's going to be great. So much to talk about. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. This is our second Rompapalooza edition. I think the last one we had was last summer, I believe, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. So it's been a year. I'm sorry we took so long. We're only supposed to be 6 months apart, but we've had so much going on. But hey, you know, what the hell? We're back with it, and we got it rolling tonight. So with that being said, look for some of the new commercials. We got some new commercials. Don't forget, we got the new rail station coming to the Waco, Austin area. They are still breaking ground. We have the new Hot 100.1 coming to Waco, and just be looking. Y'all should be seeing some billboards on that pretty soon. That's the one that we showed y'all on the Facebook. I mean, on the YouTube channel. Those of y'all didn't know that we have a YouTube channel. You can go right now and check that out at KGTR FM, and we have some videos on there of past shows for y'all to see. And we will be uploading this show tonight before next Friday's show. You'll be able to catch it on YouTube. Hit them like buttons on that YouTube. Blow it up. Let's get over 1 million people on there. That's what I want to see. And after you hear what tonight's going to be said, you're going to be rethinking everything you've ever heard. I guarantee it. We've been ramping and amping you up on this, and I'm telling you, this is going to be awesome. So yeah, we're going to put that on the YouTube channel. Get on that Facebook, people. Come on. I know there's more of y'all out there that, I don't know what's up with y'all on the Facebook. Y'all need to come on and get on that Facebook and hit them like, share it with your friends, share it with your family. Help us out. Promote it. I mean, I'm seeing the same people on the Facebook all the time. I need y'all to get up there and start doing something constructive, like hit that like button, adding people on there. Paste it. Put it on your family and friends' wall, whether they like it or not. Send it to them and say, hey, just like it. We don't care. Let's just show Facebook, because Facebook's questioning it. Facebook is commenting and saying, why don't y'all have, you got personal people that got more likes on their page than y'all do. What is going on with that? And we're like, but y'all are hitting up the KGTR FM at yahoo.com so much, but y'all forget about the Facebook. Everybody got a Facebook, it seems like. So get on there, hit the Facebook, hit the likes. Come on, get out there. I know y'all gonna comment tonight. I know y'all gonna have some shit to say tonight. Y'all always do. And I know every time we have a new guest speaker, it's always 50-50. We got the ones that are like, yeah, I know what she's talking about. And you got the ones, huh? So, yeah, it's gonna be hot. Y'all not only do y'all have to put with Dee and Miss Sharee tonight, now y'all gonna have, I'm gonna introduce you in just a second, Miss Mel. Now y'all finally got a name to associate with somebody. Miss Mel is in the house tonight. First time ever on the show. And we're going to see what y'all think about her. And I can't wait to see the comments roar in tonight after the show. That ought to be very, very interesting. So, with that being said, yep, so there's pretty much all the announcements I really can think of. Show's been great. I don't know what the deal is as we get closer to our threshold. Y'all seem to be growing with this. I remember when we first started off with our first episode, America the Meltdown, over 2.5 years ago. We had less than 2,000 people listening, and a lot of them was some country-ass folks out there in the Caldwell, Cameron area, and now look at us now. We are bigger and better than ever. We actually got people from all over the world listening, so let's continue that streak. And I think tonight's going to push us over that 100,000 mark, because y'all are going to want to hear what Miss Mel has to say and her expertise in the subject matter we're going to be talking about tonight, along with our other co-host tonight, our other guest speaker, Miss Sharee Walters. She hasn't been banned yet. She hasn't been blackballed yet on the airlines. And yes, we probably going to have to hide our fruit baskets again from her, because we know how she is about her fruit. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't want to get too much announcements because this is not a formal Crazy Chris talk show. So guess what? For the first time in history, I can do it under 30 minutes. What do you know? Isn't that something, Miss Sharee?
It's a miracle. Oh, my gosh.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm great.
You're doing great. Are you doing good? Are you great?
I'm great.
Good. So how was your journey?
I got stopped.
Well, what'd you do now?
Something looked like a little vibrator.
You got a vibrator?
I said it looked like a vibrator.
Well, what was it?
Something that looked like a vibrator.
Oh. So they got you quarantined now? Did the body search you?
Yes.
You probably enjoyed it.
I did. I told him, but he needed to buy me dinner first. I wasn't that kind of girl.
Wow. What you wouldn't expect, none less than Miss Sharee. She's still Miss Sharee, as you can see. Woo! So, Miss Sharee, as you know, we have a special guest here with us tonight as well, don't we?
Yes, I'm so excited.
Do you want to introduce her since you know who she is?
Yes, I'll do the introductions. I'm just so glad, I'm happy that she's here, because now it's 2 against you.
I know. Folks, y'all just don't know what it's like to be sandwiched between 2 women. Woo!
Woo!
And it's not the kind of threesome that you want. So, I'm going to be grilled tonight. So, y'all, men out there, put the comments in for me tonight. Come on! Because y'all women are going to beat up on Crazy Chris. I already know. So, we got 2 women in the house tonight. Wow. Okay, so go ahead. Why don't we officially introduce her? Y'all ready for our Miss Mel to introduce herself?
Yay!
Hey! And welcome to the Crazy Chris Special Edition Talk Show, Miss Mel.
Hey, Chris. Hey, Miss Sharee.
And how are you doing tonight?
I'm excited to be here. We're going to start schooling some of you on weather modification, chemtrailing, HARP, all of the things that are affecting our climate, our food, our water, and our health.
So if you haven't figured out what tonight's show is, tonight we're talking about government conspiracies and cover-ups. That's the title tonight. Government conspiracies and cover-ups. It's something every American should know. So I mean, this is something that's a lot of people probably don't know what's going on. What you think?
I think people are waking up, and we're here to wake some more people up. And all you have to do is look up to see the evidence.
Okay. So, Ms. Sharee, have you heard about this going on?
Yes, I have. I was talking to Mel, and she was telling me about these different things. What's funny is, like, some of the stuff that she was telling me about, I've noticed on TV shows. And when there was one TV show in particular, and they came on one of the Reels channels, it's like a real off channel, and they were talking about HARP. And but I was thinking, I'm like, wow, that's a little far-fetched.
Now, that's the weather machine, am I correct?
Yeah.
It is.
It's in Alaska.
There are 3.
Oh, okay. Now, I didn't know there was 3 of them.
Stations.
Wow, I knew there was 1.
Across the world. The biggest one is in Alaska.
Okay.
And what HARP is it's an ionospheric heater. And this was developed to do several things, but mainly you've got to look at DARPA projects, you've got to look at the military-industrial complex, and what is the first and main way that you can win a war. If you can control the weather, you can control anything.
Absolutely, I agree.
And so HARP is used for many, many, many different things, but, you know, as everything and all this wonderful technology we have today, there's a very dark side of it, and dark, evil people have access to it, and they have sinister, you know, ideas about what they want to do with this technology. And so HARP is, they take electromagnetic pulses, low frequency waves, and they shoot them into the ionosphere, and they can pinpoint by bouncing it off on a specific location. They can cause earthquakes, they can halt storms that are coming in, and you can see them on radar. You've even got weathermen, local weathermen, pointing it out that it is absolutely man-made storms. They can make hurricanes, they can make tornadoes, they can cause earthquakes, they can you know, shoot pulses of energy at things and people, they can blow things up. They say that the power of HARP can actually, like, cut the earth in half like an orange.
Wow.
That's how much power that it has. And it is very, very top secret. I mean, yes, the government admits they have it, but they classify a lot of things to do with it, and they're even coming out now trying to make people think they're shutting it down, which they are totally not shutting it down.
Wow.
So people need to be aware that they have the ultimate weapon. The ultimate weapon. And the United States is not the only ones that have access to this facility. This is worldwide. This is NATO. This is the UN. This is the, you know, elite. They control everything.
So would you say, in your opinion, would y'all think this is something probably considered dangerous?
It is very. Yeah. It's not. I don't think it. I know it. It is dangerous.
Especially
I'm convinced.
If it falls into the wrong hands.
It is in the wrong hands. That's the problem.
So do y'all think that it being in the government's hand would not be better than being in someone else's hands? Or
I think that this is just goes back to, you know, the person that created the atom bomb. I mean, this is just something that shouldn't have been done. But you can't. The problem is you can't control these people. You can't control the elite, New World Order, making and manipulating everything that we see, that we feel, that we touch, that we ingest. And, you know, you can even use frequency for mind control, which is part of the military aspect of this, and weapons aspect of this. If you can control the weather, if you can mind control your enemy, you can manipulate any situation to what you want it to be.
Yeah, I've heard of that, where there is and one of the shows one of my favorite shows I tell the people all the time is the Jesse Ventura Conspiracy Theories, and they had a program on there about the mind control, and I was amazed how actual people can be controlled like robots to kill.
They can.
To not be fear of anything, to go in and do these missions and then they can deprogram you, and you don't remember doing nothing. They use you for what they want to, and then in some cases they destroy you or hit you off or kill you because, you know, or whatever tracking and trailing they leave. I mean, it's kind of disgusting to think that they're using actual human citizens, American citizens, as potential lab rats.
American soldiers. Too. We had a shooting in 2013 at one of the naval bases where he had security clearance, and he went through and he shot some people. And I'm sorry, forgive me, I can't remember the base this was at because we've had so many lately.
Yeah,
I want to say that was
isn't that kind of funny? But I digress. They are the guy that went in and shot people. He was complaining of headaches, of feeling, you know, having thoughts that he couldn't control out of nowhere. He did not have PTSD, but they do like to play this on our soldiers because they can blame it on PTSD. And, you know, nobody ever found out why that happened. They put these things in the media to go, here, watch the puppet over here while we're fucking shit up over here on this other side. And it is just anything on the media that they just laser focus on, you can be sure is a distraction. And that's Fox, that's CNN, that's MSNBC, that's all of them. And
so
just so you know, for you conservative libertarians out there, do not be fooled by Fox News. It is owned by a Saudi prince, and that money is negotiating everything that they put on the air. So please, you know, those of you out there that are possibly awake, you know this, but those who are just waking up and who are just really fed up with everything that's going on in America, it doesn't matter your politics. We're Americans, and you need to be completely aware the way that your government, both parties, manipulate you and use us all like slaves and little pawns with everything that they want to do while raping us and stealing from us to fund whatever crazy war they want to get into, whatever end that they need. You know, it does not matter. We are not considered anything but little ants that are manipulated.
So it's not a Republican or Democrat no more.
It's not.
It's way beyond this.
It's not. It's you need to be. It's almost just a humanity thing. But in this country, we can actually make a difference by just waking people up so that they do not fall for this stuff. Just be aware of what is going on around you so that you do not, you know, fall for being manipulated into paying attention to something that doesn't matter.
So
all
they
of
use
it is psyops.
So they use it as a distraction.
They are very much
really
smoke and mirrors.
Because wasn't that naval base, I want to say it was in D.C., but wasn't that around the time of the whole Benghazi thing?
Yes.
And then,
it sure was.
Then after the naval base, then you had that woman who ran her car up into D.C. What was it at the D.C.?
Well, it was right at the Capitol.
At the White House,
yeah.
right. And they killed her, and she had a kid in the car.
Yep.
And that was like right after.
That's what she said. Obama was the father, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, I said Obama. I said, oh, this is like a scandal thing, and she was just coming there.
So you think she was up? Do you think she was mind controlled?
Yes, because think about it. Just like that guy who had a clear record up until that point, but he was complaining about headaches and stuff. That's mind control. And she was I believe she was a dentist or something. And her family said that there was nothing wrong with her. That they talked to her. She was fine. So I think it could all be that sort of mind control. But, I mean, they're putting stuff in our food. They're putting stuff in our water system. So I can see all of that.
Now the mind control thing is they're doing it from these microwave towers, right?
Yeah. They look like cell phone towers.
Some are cell phone towers, but what they're saying is, according to what on the conspiracy theory, that the bottom part is the cell phone, but the top part is what they're using. They're actually using some of the cell phone towers so that they're decoys. So you're looking at that's a cell phone tower, but not only part of the cell phone tower is being leased out to the government or whatever, and they're using that part for their transmission because it blends right in.
But think of how many people are.
Now these towers were put up after the Cold War, and they claim that those towers, they were claiming that those towers are not being used, but the Cold War was after the Reagan days, And they're saying that those towers were put out of commission back in 85, but obviously it's not, right?
We don't believe anything they tell you. Everything they release is a lie. It really is. Because all you have to do is look. Don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. Do not listen to the words that they say. They come out and say, oh, we've got, these drones and these planes that can fly, by themselves, remote control. They come out, every once in a while you'll see on your morning news, no matter what station you watch, you're going to see some new technology being announced. They have had this. Any Terminator 2, Terminator 3, futuristic stuff that they tell you is in development, it's already being used and has been being used. It would blow your mind, the things that they can do.
Now, one of the phenomenals, let's talk about these chemtrails, these long puffs of white clouds that people are seeing.
I used to think they were clouds.
I used to think they were just airplanes that were emitting emissions that were coming out of the pipe, and they just left a trail, and they disappear. You don't know. Yeah.
But
that's what I used to think.
There's a difference between a regular jet contrail, which will dissipate about 20 plane lengths behind it. You'll see it dissipate. These are persisting contrails that can go and spread. They stay up in the atmosphere. They are used on commercial planes and non-commercial planes. There's corporations that have them doing this. They have canisters full of metal particulates. They have aluminum, barium, strontium, toxic. They're spraying them in the atmosphere under the guise of global warming. We want to keep global warming to a minimum. And isn't our president really going nuts about this right now? Okay, he is constantly talking about it so that he can tax you and fine you and regulate you because we're supposedly going to be combating global warming. No. These chemtrails that they are spraying in the sky over central Texas every day almost. I have plenty of pictures. I have every day. If I stop at my local Starbucks and I look up in the sky, I can get 2 or 3 on a normal day.
So,
and they stay in the sky and they persist. They can spread out over 4,000 kilometers. They stay up there for up to 20 hours, and it's called geoengineering, and they are man-made clouds, and they hold moisture in the atmosphere. And the problem with that is that it keeps the humidity in the atmosphere, which is just a feeding ground for molds, viruses, bacteria. It falls into our crops. It goes into our water table. They have done water testing in Texas, California, Arizona, Hawaii, all across this country and all across the world. Australia gets it all the time. And these toxic chemicals are showing up in the water supplies. And that's aside from the fluoride that they pump in there in the water treatment plants. That's aside from the, psychotropic drugs that they put. Just listen to Alex Jones, and he's got plenty of data to back it up. They're poisoning us so that they're dumbing down the American people. Also, depopulation is a big thing, a big initiative. You'll even hear Bill Gates and Al Gore talking about this, how we need to control the population. The world is overpopulated. They want to kill everybody off. They want to dumb you down by putting these things in our water. It's causing us to have cancers. It's causing ADHD. It's causing autism. It's causing asthma, upper respiratory problems, psychological problems, and people just don't understand that this is why they're sick.
Wow.
It's happening over us all the time.
So, those y'all are joining in. Hopefully you're not joining late. We are talking about government conspiracies and cover-ups tonight on a special edition of Crazy Chris Talk Show with our guest speakers, Ms. Sharee Walters and Ms. Mel. I don't know if we've made an announcement, notified y'all now, but Ms. Mel's actually from the Central Texas area. She's actually a local person. She's in the Central Texas area, so she can speak on a lot of stuff that's going on. A lot of y'all listening tonight are in the Central Texas listening area. So she's can tell you on a first-hand basis of stuff that's actually going on in our local communities, right?
Yes, yes. This is stuff that you can see over your own head. You know, and use your own eyes to see and your own ears to hear. And they actually deny doing this for a long time, and it is starting to be so, people are waking up at such a rapid pace that, like I said, you're going to see local weathermen, you're seeing military whistleblowers that have actually been in the plains and sprayed these trails. And the way that you can tell is if you see a trail being sprayed by a jet across your sky that does not go away, that stretches across the whole sky where you're looking, and it stays up there
for like
if you
hours,
watch
right?
it, if you watch them, and I've done this hundreds of times, if you watch them, they spread out, they dissipate. You'll have a cloudless sky, a blue sky. Hours later, you have a silver, metallic-y looking sky that has totally man-made clouds, and you can see them because if you watch them for hours, if you were to do a time-lapse camera, you would see that no cloud in your sky is real. It is a man-made cloud. And another thing that I've noticed, and I can't, you know, I haven't done any scientific experiments on it, but just a pattern I've noticed, that a lot of times, if they're forecasting a lot of rain or a lot of storms coming in our way, 2 or 3 days ahead of time, you will see them spraying a lot. You'll see crisscross trails in the sky where you know these are not normal jet patterns. This is just, you know, checkerboarded across your sky. I have got wonderful pictures taken at the corner of New Road and I-35 of a whole checkerboard of chemtrails that were laid in a single morning, and I watched them being sprayed on my morning commute. They are doing this, and they are poisoning us. And Central Texans, you guys need to be paying attention. All of you out there at Fort Hood, you guys need to be paying attention. Wow. You need to be very aware of what is going on, and I would suggest getting tested for metal toxicity. All of us.
Now, obviously, this is going on, though, just not just in your community or our community, but in everybody's community, right?
Well, I would think that, like, for me being from New York, and I would think the people in California, it's probably a little hard for us to see because of all the smog, but I'm pretty sure it's going on.
Yeah. You've got organic farmers that had wonderful crops up until the last couple of years, and they've got a lot of chemtrailing going on above them in their skies, and it's become, when I first started watching it, it wasn't a daily occurrence. It has escalated over the last couple of years, and they're showing their crops are dying. They're having to put them in greenhouses to keep the metals from falling on their plants. Monsanto creates seed that is resistant to chemtrails, resistant to drought, resistant to flood, resistant to pests. And they basically force these farmers basically out of business unless they're using that seed, which is genetically engineered. It's in everything that we eat and drink. Wow. Monsanto is such a monster, huge corporation, that they're spraying the stuff that's killing the normal food and affecting the normal, our organic farms, our organic cattle, our organic, free-range chickens, right. our organic, your local farmers market, their organic produce.
Which is a huge thing in this area.
Yes.
And this is Texas. Yeah. This is farming community. Central Texas is known for its ranch, farming, organic food. So it's got to be taking a big toll on a lot of your, like you said, your local business. Some of these people have been
farming
ranching and farming on their land for centuries, and now they're going bankrupt. They're having to auction off their acres of land, their cattle. I imagine it's not.
Yes.
Because it's not.
We're seeing whole herds of cattle sick and dying.
Wow.
And in Texas, the beef cattle ranchers are really taking a hit. And I just want to advise people, there's 2 documentaries that really are must-sees for anyone wanting to learn about this. And they also have a Facebook page. It's called What in the World Are They Spraying? and why in the world are they spraying. It's 2 documentaries. You can look them up on YouTube. They're about an hour apiece. They are absolutely mandatory if you really want to know what's going on, if you really want to see the evidence, if you want to see the scientists coming that are taking soil samples and water samples and organic farmers and how this is affecting agriculture and our health. You really need to see both of them. They're the most comprehensive total package that I have seen in all of my research that I've been doing for the last several years.
So
what
can we do to protect ourselves against that?
There are, supplements you can take. There's, like when I see them spraying outside, I don't go outside. Mm-hmm. I don't go outside because that's falling right on me.
Yeah.
And my kids. And I'm not going to, you can't just completely escape it because they're putting it, you're being hit in 360. All the way around, you're being hit with it. Be aware, try and make good choices, read your food labels, try and support your organic farmers. It's hard sometimes because we're all economically being hit. Food prices are skyrocketing, and they're doing everything they can to put organic farmers out of business. You've got the DEA raiding acres and acres and acres of organic farmland looking for marijuana, and they don't find any, and then they've ruined acres of these people's crops, and good luck suing the government for it.
Yeah.
They're doing things like this all the time, all across this country, in California especially. I mean, they go and take people's land from them because a snail is going to be, extinct. The EPA is your enemy. They're not your friend. They don't clean up anything. They just fine people. They take people's land and they fine you. They don't clean up anything. They don't solve anything.
So since we're, I'm glad you brought that up, because I was just going to bring up the next subject ideal, since now we're going into EPA, and this is probably a big thing too, especially with your big cities such as New York and California, and and especially like here in Texas, you got the areas like Houston and Dallas. These are your high pollutant, not necessarily just because of the commuters and the motorists, but you have along the coast, in Texas, you have a lot of chemical companies. You got BASF, you got Dow Chemical, Banachek, all the people down there.
Those states, they got power plants.
Yes, and then of course Texas has a lot of nuclear power plants, and then you go on the East Coast, you got coal power plants. Mm-hmm. So all this is supposed to be regulated by the EPA, and they say they make a big thing about cleaning up the environment. They're worried about the ozone layer. But you're saying this is just
they're the Gestapo.
It's just a money thing,
yeah,
huh?
It's all about money.
It's all about making
Everything
money.
is about money and resources.
So all this extra stuff that they're talking about, emission stuff for your car, is more money to get out of you.
Well, how come, the scientists say we've been doing this, Earth Day green thing for what? The last 20 years, yet we've made no progress. You know why? Because Mother Nature will take care of these things herself, and it's not going to be something that you like. All of this is the way that they manipulate people is playing to their feelings. Everything is about how we feel about things instead of the reality of what they are. There's a big difference. And so when they come around and they say, oh, we've got to, of course everybody wants clean air and clean water and, our oceans not be polluted. I'm furious with Fukushima and the way that our Pacific Ocean is just dying. It's dying. It's the lifeblood of this earth is dying because of idiots building, nuclear power plants on fault lines. And they do the same thing in California. They do the same thing on the coast. The BP oil spill, the Gulf of Mexico is in danger. They are polluted. They put Corexit into the Gulf to try and soak up the supposed oil that was, all in the water and the BP oil spill, and that's one of the most toxic substances known to man. I'll be damned if I let my kids put one toe in the Gulf.
Well, let's go back to the Fukushima. Because I know by talking to you that our oceans are in danger because of that. But we're not hearing anything from our government about our oceans being in danger.
No.
And so to people that are not hearing this, like the way I was thinking,
I okay, forgot about
that's
it.
So far away.
I figured that was good. We're done with it.
But I was thinking, okay, that's all the way in Japan, and that whole Asian.
Yeah, I'm thinking, what does that have to do with us?
Yeah.
Oh, it has everything to do with us. Fukushima is the worst disaster known in world history.
Wow.
It is that bad. You've got
this is worse than Chernobyl?
This is 10 times worse than
Oh,
Chernobyl.
wow.
That is bad.
All of Japan needs to be evacuated. I'm not kidding. It is,
wow.
Go to enenews.com and stay up to date on all of the Fukushima news. They are still in disaster. This could get even worse because the nuclear reactor number 4 is extremely volatile. If Japan, Tokyo, has a big earthquake again, that's a completely seismic area. It's one of the biggest seismic areas in the world. It will not be able to withstand it, and they will have to evacuate Tokyo. Do you know how many people live in Tokyo? Do you know how many people were radiated when those reactors blew? That plume went up, and it was pulled across the Pacific in the air by a storm, a man-made storm that just poured down on California and stood there. You had all these clouds coming in to California, and then a straight line on the radar where they just came in and would just stop.
What?
They wouldn't even, the storm did not move on. They dumped all of that radioactive material over Oregon, over Washington, over California. People were getting 5 and 10 hot spots in their lungs that were tested right when it was done. This is pouring millions, tons of radioactive material, radioactive water into the Pacific every day since May 11th, 2011.
But if it's bad, right?
It is bad.
Why don't they shut that down and repair these?
They can't. You can't clean it up. It cannot be cleaned up.
What I'm saying is you're saying that the reactor 4 is a volatile.
Yeah.
Why don't they stop production or whatever, shut it down, go in and do what they got to do, and then they repower this thing up?
It's not. You can't do it that way. It's not that easy. This is something that they cannot control. You've got homeless people in Japan being pulled in by the government to work in there, and they're coming out with radioactive sickness, eyes bleeding, nose bleeding, and dying within days. This is a humanitarian crisis. The Japan government all needs to be arrested and taken to trial by the United Nations. This is just criminal. It is criminal. They are lying to the Japanese people. The Japanese people have a gag order. They cannot give interviews. They cannot talk about it, or they will be arrested.
Wow.
That's why this is so horrible. And the American government, those evil bastards, they are doing the same thing. They should have been telling people all along. You have people walking around the Gulf of California, the coast of California, San Diego, on the beaches with Geiger counters going at 100 times the acceptable level of radiation, just walking down the beach. How many of you have heard all about these fish kills, the dolphins, all of the sea life, the sea stars dissolving into goo? That is all Fukushima. And they will lie and say, it's nothing like we've ever seen. It's unexplainable. Duh! Your whole Pacific is just completely dying. It is being destroyed. It is. This stuff is flowing in every day since May 11th, 2011. They can't clean it up.
Water and everything.
They can't clean it up. Helen Caldicott, Google her. She's an expert on that. She may say some things that may upset some of you politically. Don't worry about it. She's right on when she's talking about the dangers of nuclear weapons and nuclear power and nuclear proliferation, and it's got to be stopped. You've got to activate. You've got to know. You've got to tell your friends. You've got to start doing town halls. You've got to start calling your congressmen. Not that they listen to us, but I refuse to just sit back and do nothing and say nothing. Mm-hmm. You've got to be telling people about this, and just all it takes is 2 seconds to email your congressman. And just email him every day for a month. See what happens.
So obviously, this is a bigger problem than most people are aware of.
It's terrible,
right?
It's terrible.
And
why would they build on fault lines?
Isn't that kind of funny that most of our nuclear power plants are built on fault lines, highly seismic areas? California, the San Andreas. Hello.
That makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's like they
About
almost
GE.
expected a failure.
You people also need to learn the difference between capitalism and corporatism. And corporatism is an evil, 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 evil thing. And it is all around us. Google, you know.
Any of your big corporations.
Yeah.
Buffett.
Buffett.
Yeah, little squirrely bastard's taking over everything. He's coming in all the small towns.
Bill Gates.
Yeah.
Evil sicko.
Oh, he even owns the Waco Tribune.
Who does?
Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett
That
owns.
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
He owns a lot. He owns a lot of companies.
Yeah.
In Texas.
He's a little squirrely bastard, but he's got that money. But
He's
I
the
guess,
Bilderberger.
and I guess so. I guess now I lost a lot of fond respect. I really don't like him a whole lot, but I thought he was trying to do something good for the environment. Al Gore.
Al Gore is the biggest tool. Listen, they're all in it for money. Al Gore has made millions and millions and millions of dollars lying to the American people. You've got filmmakers and actors, all of us know, producers, directors, on camera being taped by James O'Keefe, who was one of Breitbart's prodigies. Mm-hmm. He actually has them on cameras talking to some of the corporations or ones that say, oh, we're trying to save, the earth and do glory. They're doing false movies. They'll put all this money behind it, and they don't care if any of it's right or any of it's true. What was Al Gore's movie?
It was the global warming movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's some BS. Because, look, he said we were all going to be dead now.
That's true.
We're all going to be swimming at the oceans. We're going to rise up. And you know what? They will, but that won't have nothing to do with us. That's going to be the good Lord sending his wrath down. And I'm just saying, Al Gore, they're all liars. They are there to make money off of you and play against your sensitivities. Do your own research. And the research does not support man-made global warming. We do not want to pollute the earth, no. But their whole premise is wrong.
Okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate.
Okay.
So you got the government saying, oh, this is not true. These are just people just trying to, build up your fear so you'll be afraid to eat, and seafood, drink the water. They don't want you to put money back into the community because of all they're saying that's in the water and, not to go to the beaches anymore. It's, we're your government. If this was going to happen, we would tell you. We would not want to keep you in the dark. And then that's where I would call bullshit. But there's people that are actually thinking with that mindset. No, if this was going on, my government would tell me. It would be on the news. It would be on local news. It would be on Fox. They would not let this happen.
Well, not when you're in a basically Hitleristic government. Hitler it's just propaganda. The news, they have to, what, I don't get mad about what they do report on. I get mad about what they don't report on.
Well, they don't report on what's true. They
cover for the government. They don't ask the questions that need to be asked because they're promised the little, golden spoon at the end. And then each one of them, if they speak out, they're murdered. Andrew Breitbart was murdered. Yeah. He was about to out Obama. Mm-hmm. Okay? Michael Hastings was murdered because he was going to blow the Bergdahl case wide open a year ago. Mm-hmm. The whistleblowers and the investigative journalists that actually practice journalism are whacked or they're fired. Lara Logan exposed the Afghanistan war and what mess our president and our generals in government have made out of it. She is what I would have considered a to the left leaning journalist. She outed all of them and she was cut off of 60 Minutes. Lara Logan.
Yeah.
And she was raped by these people in the Egyptian, Muslim Spring or Arab Spring or whatever. Mm-hmm. They didn't have no sympathy for Lara. So because she tried to say, no, we don't need to be pulling out of Afghanistan. All of our people are being, told they can't fire. The rules of engagement are BS. all of our enemies are being housed in Pakistan, and the Pakistani government is protecting them, but they're supposedly our ally, and they're basically sending our guys over to not win. They won't let them do their job.
They're setting them up for failure.
That's exactly right. And she comes out and outs that, and hey, this isn't about Bush or Clinton or Obama. They're all the same devil.
Well, they're all puppets.
They're all the same thing.
So, with that being said, then who's behind them if they're the puppets?
The elite. It's this group of 100 to 200 billionaires, the people that have the most money in the world, the Saudi princes, these people like this.
Would this be the Illuminati?
Yes.
Is that what you consider
Yes,
Illuminati?
yes.
I know that they have like secret meetings.
Oh yeah.
And they all get together, and it's like people like Bill Gates and people like you say have the money. They get together, and then they also have this sign they do now, right? They have
it's the all-seeing
the
eye.
little
They
thing.
do a triangle.
I notice there's a lot of them in their music videos, or when they're out there getting spotlight on TV. They're kind of like doing that when they're promoting their next
the
video.
Secret Society.
And this has been
That's
going.
a little shout out.
And so you're saying that they're all involved in this.
Well, I mean, you've got, say, your pop stars that are doing this. They are so on the lower rung of it. They're puppets.
Well,
they're here to deceive you, to mind control you, to poison you against, and to distract. These people that go to that are in the Bilderberg group, that go to Bohemian Grove, these world leaders, they are told what to do, what's going to happen. They all go and meet once a year, and they have their little ceremonies, and they dress up in their little things, and they bow to a burning owl and do sacrifices and whatever else. This is what they have, like a meeting, and they all say, okay, this is what we're going to do. And everybody plays their part. It's not one person that you can say, that one is the bad one. If we just take him out.
It's a collective group.
Yeah, no, it's a collective group of the most powerful people in the world, and they decide how the little
So would you say that, did you say the Illuminati is the same thing as the NWO?
I say yes.
They're same group, just different names?
Yeah.
What about the SARS? You heard of SARS, right?
The SARS.
People that remember SARS, which is about 50, 60 people that are supposedly over the president. They say the president has like 50, 60 SAR members.
That's new for me. Whoa.
Yeah. And they're supposed to be...
Chris, teaching Miss Mel something today.
Yeah, they're called SARS.
Okay. S-A-R-S.
Yes. When you get
czars. Are you talking about czars? Like the president appointed czars, like they do in Russia.
Yeah.
In communist countries.
Yes.
Okay, just saying. Where they have complete autonomy over what they're going to do. There's no oversight. There's no accountability.
Right.
Okay, that's what you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm on.
Okay. So we have all these different organizations or private memberships that are running the economy. They're running the laws. They're dictating who.
They're running our weather, obviously.
Yeah, they're running the weather. They're running your program and what can be seen, what can be reported on TV.
Yeah.
What you can see on your television.
They censor you through YouTube, through Facebook.
One of our biggest competitors is obviously the FCC.
Oh, yeah.
And that's something here at the station that we resent, and a lot of radio stations. So when we go once a year, we have our radio station convention where we all get together from radio stations all around the world. We get together and we talk about this, and it's one of the hottest subject matters that come up is the FCC. And ever since they've been riding our ass, and the FCC's been on us, they're threatening to shut us down, and they're trying to find ways. And so that's why we started playing the FCC song now before my show, because we kind of mock it and give them a little something to listen to.
Yeah, hey, play with them.
And
don't ever shut up. Don't let them.
See, the thing is, they charge us to be on the airways. And to me, I don't think they should do that because nobody owns the airways. But yet, you can't, as a regular person at your house, you can't broadcast. If you try to, and some people have started their own little broadcast stations at their houses and stuff.
Yeah.
They have equipment now that you can broadcast that. If you go more than 200 feet out of your house, you got the FCC at your door.
Yeah.
They is ready to shut you down. They'll confiscate your equipment. It's what they call the pirate radios. People that can, want to ham radio operators have to get the special permit.
Ham radio.
And they can only say so much. But, I think the SEC is so terrible because they actually tell us what we can, or they try to, what we can and what we can't say, and we have not yet to follow any of the rules. We've been fined a couple times. We just pay the fines and we keep on moving.
Well, they're the enemy of freedom of speech.
Yeah, and I think that's terrible. The SEC, because they control your radio and your television, and I know, to me, they're just they're like a little communists, for real. They're the worst.
The
worst people.
You're censorship is what it is, no matter what. Even if someone is saying something on YouTube or whatever that I don't like, it's not. I don't want them to be censored. That's what this is about. That's what this country is about.
We just want to say something real quick, folks. If we're not on next week, you can thank Miss Mel for that.
I'm on the list.
If y'all hear an explosion at KGTR FM station, y'all know what happened.
Or if you can't find them on the internet, their Facebook pages.
I'm going down with the ship.
So let's talk about something else.
I got a question before.
Yeah. Come on with it.
Okay, Snowden, traitor, or
that's a hot subject.
Whistleblower.
That is a hot subject matter with him, isn't it?
No, Snowden is a plant.
He's a plant.
Snowden is part of the whole distraction.
Tell me more about Snowden.
Because
what's going on with this?
he still went to the enemy. Where's he at?
Well,
yeah, now he's in Russia.
Don't doubt that they are not.
He went
There's not half of this country
he's
trying
in Russia?
to make.
He went to China.
He went to Putin.
He went to
Lord!
But he started off in China.
Putin protecting him.
Yeah.
Now, why is Putin protecting him? Do we want somebody that Putin's going to protect?
No, we're not on best terms with Russia now.
I know.
No.
They're talking about now we may have to worry about Russia attacking us.
Iraq, they found B-50 whatever bombers.
But don't we got our hands full with North Korea as it is? That crazy bastard up there.
Iraq, all those soldiers that we sent to Iraq, Iran, the whole Middle East, Syria, Turkey just cut off the water to Syria.
Yeah.
And hell, they already had enough problems because they got hundreds of Christians being beheaded every day. And we're arming the people that are doing it.
Yep.
And we're going to pull out of Afghanistan, and we just gave them back their basically Secretary of State, their Secretary of Defense.
You know where we're moving with this now, right?
Officers.
You already know what I'm going to bring up next. You already know we're moving next because we're talking about overseas here. And I know you. I heard a little rumor about this next subject matter I'm going to bring up here. But I know you're going to be on it like a cow on a ship, Patty.
You mean talking about Pope Friend?
Yes! You're reading my mind. Miss
The false prophet.
Since you already brought it, let's just go ahead and talk about this guy. This is creepy. For him to put out a message, and we were talking about this, me and Miss Sharee were talking about this on one of the past shows, where he came out and bluntly said, the Catholic people in Italy, the big old, whatever, Vatican, puts out a message and tells people, we have probably concluded that Christ is not coming back, and we believe he's busy. This is what it said. Did you see the message?
No, I didn't see that one, but
it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube, and it says,
the alien savior's coming.
Basically, this is what it says, and Mr. Rizal too. I don't know where, but you can look at it. When we go to break before we go to the next show tonight, we'll let you see that.
Yeah, let me see that.
Yeah, you got to see that. But I'm just going to tell you so many words, and I want you to read it, and you hear what they said. But basically what they're saying is, they've come out and said, we believe that Christ, it's been almost 2,000 some years, and he ain't come back, he's not come back. Then they said, we believe he's off busy doing other things instead of worried about coming back. And that while we think he had good intentions of coming back, he's just not worried about us. And this is what freaked me out. And then he says, what was the most surprising thing was, it said, there was a punchline to it that just really boiled my blood. But basically it says, we're on our own. And that...
and we had to rely on them.
Yeah, that we need to rely on them, and don't count on Jesus because Jesus is too busy for us. Since when has God walked off the cross?
That's blasphemy,
yeah, exactly. But that's coming from your Pope and your Vatican.
Yeah,
now, if they're delivering bad news like that,
how evil those people are.
If they're delivering bad news like that, then how in the hell? And they said we should just go and continue. It says continue praying and have your faith, though. But
the Bible says that the Antichrist will sit on the throne and declare himself as God.
But people hearing that from the Vatican,
totally setting that.
People hearing that from the Vatican. It's not encouraging people to do right. It's encouraging people to just say, well, fuck it. What the hell I've been doing my whole life?
He has come out and said that you do not even have to believe in Christ to go to heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, that's the greatest sin of all, is denouncing Jesus as your personal Lord and Savior.
Okay.
It says it about that's the only sin,
Everything that
actually.
comes out of Pope Francis's mouth is absolute blasphemy and is anti-Christ.
Well, what you think about when he said he accepted the gays now? And I mean, and I'm not against gays and lesbians. I personally don't get involved in that such a matter. I believe to each other. But for the Vatican to say, hey, we accept that.
Well, it's not biblical. That's all you can say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's just stick with the facts. The fact is that that's one of the 10 Commandments.
Mm-hmm.
And he's saying, but you know what? That's like those stupid imams saying that Allah can't see you on Tuesday, doing it to a little boy in Bachabasi.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like an imam.
What's special about Tuesday?
Okay, well, that's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother thing. I'm just saying, okay.
I'm not trying to be comical. I mean, I feel sorry for
an imam in Islam, an imam is your priest or your preacher or whatever, okay? Well, they can issue what's called a fatwa. And a fatwa is basically any exception to any scripture that they have, and it's just law.
Like
they don't have to pass it through anybody.
Fatwa. That's what she's saying, fatwa.
Yeah, that's what I say. But anyway, they can basically declare any little thing they want to add for their little congregation, and Allah blessed it and said it's okay. So like, basically, if the Quran said they have a big thing about homosexuality. You know, everybody is told that Islam is the most harsh against homosexuals. They will stone you. They will kill you. They will behead you. Mm-hmm. They will rape you in front of your parents. I mean, if you're found to be a homosexual, then they will kill you. Mm-hmm. And in Islam, the sinner is the penetrator, not the receiver. Or is the receiver, not the penetrator. Anyways, my point is, the Pope is going and basically writing his new Bible and creating a new religion and a one world religion. And he is going to facilitate it because on June 8th, last Sunday, he had Shimon Peres, the president of Israel, and he had Mahmoud Abbas, who is the Palestinian prime minister, come to the Vatican and pray for peace.
Well, that's different.
And it's taped. You can YouTube it. I think, Miss Sharee, I sent you a link to that. I might have sent you a link to that. Now, this is unprecedented, and the Jews don't want nothing to do with the Catholics because the Catholics offered them up on silver platters to the Nazis. They do not get along. And, there's that John Kerry has been trying to negotiate this peace deal, right, between the Palestinians and Israel and over the Temple Mount and everything like that, okay? Well, and it failed. Gloriously failed, like we knew it would. Well, the Pope went to Israel and went to the Palestinians first and basically came out and said that he's going to basically advocate for their rights against the Jews. What I see happening is he's going to usher in the peace agreement that the Bible talks about. He's going to usher in because John Kerry failed at it. Mm-hmm. Well, but to have these two leaders come to the Vatican and pray for peace and kiss and hug each other, the video is disgusting. And most people would think that this is a good thing. They really do. People think, oh, finally, peace in the Middle East. You know, they really do. People don't understand the politics. They don't understand the complexity.
But it was part of God's written. It was part of His plan for them to be fused, right?
Yes,
and that's what they've been doing for so many thousand years because obviously that's the way it was supposed to be.
And then a covenant is made with many.
He created that to be deliberately not peace, and now we know it's a sign of something's not right.
It's broken. And this is what I think is going to happen. Now, I could be completely wrong, because you never know what these crazy people are going to do. But what I see happening is the Vatican is going to take over the Temple Mount and say that they're going to make sure that all religions can use it. And there goes the one world religion. The new world order.
So it's already coming together.
And no matter what it's not going to be about God's law or Allah's law or anything. It's going to be this new law, and it's going to be you know, basically you can. There are no commandments.
You can do whatever you want. You want to
know,
go out and kill people. Fine.
So it's almost like what we talked about one time on the show. I don't know if you've seen the movie called The Purge.
Yeah.
We almost believe that is possibly become a reality.
Yes.
And one way for the government to eliminate a lot of people.
Already in place, honestly, in a lot of ways.
We're
21.
We're fixing to get into some other areas with this here in a second, but I want to talk about something else before we get into that, because I think you already know where you seem to be picking up on where I'm headed as we're moving through the snake here.
It's a tangled web.
Yes.
Tangled web.
Okay, so we've all so far, folks. Those y'all just tuned in. Hopefully, if you catch it, you're right in the middle of the Rompapalooza. Tonight is June the 20th, 2014. I'm got Miss Sharee Walters with us and Miss Mel.
Hey.
Y'all only missed half of the show, but sit on down, get your cup of coffee if you just joined us, a beer or whatever, make yourself comfortable. And if you missed the first half of the show, don't forget we do re-air. This show again comes on later on tonight, so we'll have another chance to catch it. But you are listening to the Government Conspiracies and Cover-Ups. And something else that I think that I want to move into next. This is a hot subject matter, and there's so many things that we got to talk about because our time goes so quick. But let's talk about home security, and let's talk about what really happened, in your opinion, with the 9/11. What was the real thing behind it? We know that the airplane went down in Pennsylvania. We know the Pentagon got hit. We know that the 2 jets went into the World Trade Centers. And the government's saying Al-Qaeda, Taliban, and this was all because Bush made some threatening remarks, and that was retaliation. But we're also hearing a different story, and there are some people that have come forward and say the government was behind this. They crashed their own planes and had this set up to cover up. The day before 9/11, there was an airing on the TV about $2 billion of missing, unaccountable money that was not accountable for. And then all of a sudden, the next day, the same place where they were going to have to do an investigation to find out where all this missing money was going. That's probably why our deficit is so high. I think it was $2 billion or $2 trillion. It was a very huge amount of money. All of a sudden, 9/11 happens. All the attention's drawn, and miraculously, the same 2 buildings where all this evidence could be found or investigated would be at is no longer there. Right? And furthermore, the metal in the buildings, when they say had to have some help, because they said that the steel beams would not melt under normal jet fuel, that they was painted with a special kind of thing called Masonite, right? It was Masonite or something?
I don't know about the painting on of the steel columns, but there was also, and I don't know too much about the money that was missing or the records that were in the building, but there's so many other things that are questionable about it. I mean, honestly, I have not made a definitive conclusion on what I think exactly happened because I don't think we're going to ever really know, but it's not what they told us. And the man that owned World Trade Center 1, 2, and there's I guess a 3. I don't think they called it something else.
Number 7.
Number 7.
Which is a little small one, about 12 stories.
He insured them like the day before or 2 days before for like a whole bunch more money right before the planes went in. And World Trade Center Building 7 was blown because no planes hit that building, and you can see the video of it. It is. Of
course, they're saying it was from the tremor. They're saying from the first 2 times it fall, it shook enough tremor that it caused the building 2-3 blocks away to just decide to fall.
It was a controlled
but that one building,
sure. You can. That is something I am positive.
Well, the thing is, there was an interview, and this was a black woman that got interviewed at the Pentagon when the plane went through the Pentagon. She said she was in right where the impact was. She said there was no plane that come through there. It was bombs.
It was bombs.
She said, and she admitted it, and you can catch it on it's on the conspiracy theory with Jess Ventura, and that and they'll talk about the Messonite when it came in. Crews came in a week before, and went up in there and was coating the walls with that fire extra, which makes the fire hotter. They knew that they were getting the building ready to come down.
Well, then the fact
that
the guy insured the building.
Yeah, that too. Well, they were going to let him know.
People that say that no planes hit the trade towers.
No, the planes hit that.
I think the planes did. I've seen plenty of videos.
But not at the...
But they didn't bring them down.
Yeah.
They hit, but that wasn't the cause why they fell.
The problem is that, you know, and then they blamed it on Al-Qaeda, but then you can go into some serious stuff because Al-Qaeda was created by the CIA.
Yeah. Well, they said at the Pentagon, that lady said, and of course they hushed her up, and she lost her job at the Pentagon, and they threatened to kill her. She said, she told Jesse in terms of his face, she said, I know for sure there was no plane that went through there. She said, the hole was created by a bomb. She said, I heard the explosion. She said, I went out through the same hole. After it happened, she said that the plane says, I would have noticed and seen engines. And she said, there was nothing there. It was just an empty field. She said, all that smoke. She said, no plane went through there.
Right. And that's not like, okay, this is the thing you got to understand. And I think Jesse Ventura's position is this, okay? That this was a New World Order orchestrated thing. This was planned, and all the world leaders knew it was going to happen. Bush didn't say on his own, we're going to have a PSYOP, and we're going to blow up our own thing. This is a global thing, and the only way you could take down America, and was basically the beginning of sorrows for the American people. We have never recovered fully from 9/11. And there are, so George Bush was not surprised. He may not have even known how it was going to happen, but he knew we were going to get hit, and this is what we're going to do that would allow him to scare the American people enough to introduce the Patriot Act and create the Department of Homeland Security and allow the NSA to spy on people and take the Constitution and just shred it.
In my opinion.
But this is for your safety. It's all in the name of peace and safety.
But in my opinion, and I said this before, in my opinion, if you really wanted to win the hearts of the American people and you had to bomb something, why didn't you bomb Equifax, TransUnion, and Experience? And everybody could have had a fresh credit report, and the economy would have been stimulated really well.
Yeah, but then there would be always a catch. There would be always a catch, and then the government control whatever they control.
No, I'm just playing around. I'm going to be off tomorrow night and watch.
That's the thing. The object isn't to help Americans, though.
No.
It's to keep them down. It's to keep them down because in America, okay, I'm sorry, some of you are not going to be happy about this, but it's very important for you to put aside what Barack Obama thinks about gay marriage, what he thinks about education, what he thinks about Planned Parenthood and abortion. Forget about all that BS. We have got major things going on. He is destroying this country, and he's playing shadow games with you on that social stuff. Screw that stuff. I don't care what he thinks about that stuff. I don't care about that stuff. I care about this man weakening this country and selling and secrets to our enemies and aiding and abetting our enemies, because you have to understand his world view. I don't care if he's black, white, purple, pink, rainbow. I do not care. He thinks that America is the bad guy. He has gone overseas to our enemies and openly stated that we were out of line, that we are going to start, we're going to clean out Gitmo. We're going to do all this stuff. We're going to we were bad, shame on us. And we're going to basically kiss everybody's ass, and it's the American people who are going to pay for all of the government's mistakes, their wars they took us into, not in our names, and he thinks we need to pay for all of the world's suffering, and we do. The American people, the government doesn't have money. They took your money from you out of your paycheck. Your little $500 paycheck you get or your $5,000 paycheck you get, they stole it against your will, and they're taking it and they're giving it to enemies that would chop your head off in a New York second.
I'm taking.
You need to understand that. You need to understand that George Bush did the same damn thing. You need to understand Barack Obama did the same thing. It's not about Republicans and Democrats. It's about these evil bastards taking your rights away. And they can't get their New World Order as long as America stands. Please know that. Know that. And the only reason that it's still standing is because they haven't taken our guns yet. The minute they come door to door and they take your gun, this world is done. Done. Because the American people are good people. Their government is evil.
But Miss Mel, through it all this, you got to admit, you have Obamacare.
Don't even get me started.
I think she's not a fan of Obamacare.
I will never go I would die rather than to go in and get on a government health care. I don't care who's running the country.
I'm not a fan of Obamacare. My mom had to sign up for Obamacare because she got cancer and she's no longer working. So she's been going, she's got insurance through Obamacare, and so she's been going to her cancer doctors, getting her, chemo and everything. 2 weeks before her surgery, she gets a letter from her insurance company and go, I'm sorry, your surgeon is no longer, your surgeon is not in your network, so we will not be able to cover your surgery.
Depopulation.
Yes, and so she asked them, she's like, well, why is that? And they go, it's because Blue Cross Blue Shield said it's because of Obamacare and whatever level of insurance you picked. And she's like, well, all of my doctors was approved. Why would this one? And she goes, well, that's just the way it is.
Yeah. Argue them.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
She said the only thing that we could tell you is to go back to your hospital that you're having the surgery and see if they can take you as a charity patient or you set up a payment plan. But that's the only way you'll be able to use that doctor.
And is this helping the American people, I ask all of you?
No.
Is this helping anybody?
No.
But so y'all believe that them trying to have a government health care is not going to work? It works in Canada, though, right?
No. Why do people travel from all over the world to come get medical treatment in the United States? Because it's so terrible? Because the medical system is so fucked up? Because our doctors, like it or not, they work for their green money too.
Yeah.
And you know what? If someone came to me and told me, hey, we're going to cut your salary to a third of what it normally is, okay, and I have gone and gotten 10 years worth of school and certifications and everything to do this. Okay?
I know where we're going.
And they come tell me that I got, hey, by the way, this is all you can charge for your services. And
sucks to be you on the heart patient.
You got to also spend a fortune to get our systems and do things a certain way that we tell you to do. And, this, and this, and this. Are you going to want to do that job anymore? No, and that's what our doctors are doing. Our top surgeons, the top minds, they're narcissistic bastards that are rich.
So if you
know what? They are who they are. They work for their paper just like you do. And you can love them or hate them. You can say doctors are assholes all you want to, but who you going to when you're dying? And you know what? You're not going to get your best talent. You're not going to get your geniuses that will pull a cancer tumor out of your brain that is touching all these other sensitive areas that somebody else may not operate on you and give you a chance for your life. You are not going to get that. You're going to get, let me tell you something. All you in the military know what government-run health care is.
So they're going to let your ass die.
Yeah.
They're not going to go and fight for you in that surgery room.
You're in a line behind 500 people and half-assed doctors that are overworked and underpaid and they make mistakes and you're not going to get the best. You get what you pay for.
So it's another way to control population, right?
Yes, but everybody.
Yes. They're going to let all these old people like Miss Sharee's mom, who is over 50 and who is dying of cancer, they don't care about her. Right. She's going to suck off the system.
Overweight people?
Yes. Overweight people.
Yes, they're going to sick people. They're going to punish.
Handicapped.
You're going to be punished. That is not freedom, y'all. Socialized medicine is your biggest enemy of freedom.
So you're saying that this country's going...
It's not helping anybody. Yeah.
So why would you think that the non-veterans would get better treatment?
Let me ask you this. This is a real easy question, and I think everybody can answer this. Name one government office that works efficiently. One. Just name one.
Can't.
Can you name one?
Nope.
They can't run the damn post office. How are they going to run health care for this whole country?
They can't.
The VA can't even
but
run
not
it
only
for
that,
an eighth of the population.
but
they can't run it.
Not only that, you bring in the Internal Revenue Service in
To regulate.
Okay.
They lost Lois Lerner's emails for 2 years back. Did you see that? Lost them.
Yes.
Are you kidding me? All you IT people out
Now,
there.
the IRS are great thieves.
Oh, yeah.
They stole money from me for
They're
years.
The brown shirts.
Yeah.
They are. I'm telling you.
They're
Nobody likes the IRS. Tell me, liberals out there, do y'all like the IRS?
But,
Hells no, y'all don't like the IRS.
Okay, the IRS hounds us for not paying, for owing them money, but their own people that are calling us, harassing us, threatening us, owe them money.
Yeah, they owe taxes.
Oh, yeah. Tim Geithner was like, didn't pay taxes for 2 years, and he was like the whole orchestrator of the 2008
I swear to God, they
crisis.
hounded me over $2,000 because I had to screw up on my tax return. But what about the people that are out there owing $200,000? They're not. They threatened to levy my accounts even.
200,000, y'all. Those people pay half their money out.
Yeah.
That's the point. If you did $100 worth of work and somebody else did $20 worth of work, and the IRS is going to take half, did you not do $100 worth of work? You know what I'm saying? It changed if you did the damn work that this person didn't do.
Yeah.
True.
And you know what? Charitable giving is way down because they're punishing these rich people. And who they call rich is not rich.
No.
The blue collar
You
workers.
and me are rich, Miss Sharee. Did you know that?
No. I can't tell because I live paycheck to paycheck. And that's why when I come on here, I get excited.
But we don't have government. But we're not on government assistance.
Work for free.
We're
fruit that was sprayed by chemtrail.
Exactly. We're
well, now we know that the national healthcare system is a tragedy. Okay.
It is a tragedy.
Back to the 9/11
I gotta
thing.
eat a piece of chocolate.
Back to the
making me upset.
Back to the 9/11 thing.
9/11 definitely was.
It seems to be that, but a lot of New Yorkers, they fear every day with it because they're like, every time something goes down, it's usually in New York. New York's like a hot spot.
Don't live in a big city. Houston, watch out.
Yep.
So you think they're next on the list?
Oh, hell,
They're getting tired of New York, right?
They're gonna sink in the ocean anyway. You're gonna sink into the
I hope your daddy can swim. He got a sub? A Nissan sub?
He gonna need,
Yeah.
You gonna have to get him one of
He's
those
Shaft.
cars.
We call him Shaft. I call him Shaft.
This isn't good because, when 9/11 hit, that to me, that is what binded everybody.
It did.
Because that was such a big
people.
Right. That was such a big tragedy.
So they tried to divide the country, but actually united the people itself more on that.
They wanted to unite the people into going into Iraq.
But that failed, didn't it?
Because their numbers were up for recruitment and everything.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because every red-blooded male American I know was like, let's go get these bastards.
But now they want them out of there. They're too long, right? Our troops are too long in some of these places.
Well, they can't do what they're supposed to do. This is the thing. Whether or not you agree why we went, if you send my son or my brother or my husband or overseas, you let them complete their mission. They are conditioned to complete the mission. You are sending them over there. They're not fighting for our freedom. But they don't know it. They think they are.
Right.
But these men are using them. They're using our soldiers. Why did they send all of our soldiers to Afghanistan if we weren't going to go there to win? If you're not going to go there to win, leave our soldiers alone.
And then they kept sending them back.
They use our men and women in uniform in terrible, terrible ways. And then whose pay gets cut first?
They do.
They do. Whose retirement gets cut?
And now,
they do.
I just heard
Who can't get medical treatment once they've taken freaking shrapnel all in their insides and they've lost a limb going to war for us for what the man tells them that we're supposed to do. But they're not allowed to defend themselves, shoot at the enemy. They send our SEALs, our special forces, they out our CIA intelligence. They leak their names. They send them up in equipment that is outdated from Vietnam, and expect them to accomplish their task. And they're supposed to not
question,
profile Muslims. They're supposed to, everything is to appease. You can't offend them.
So
they were issuing apology videos in Egypt before Benghazi ever happened, because God forbid we offend our enemy who professes on a daily basis to us. Listen to what our enemy says to us.
Well, what about the soldier that came home?
The soldier that came home is tossed aside. They don't give a shit about him.
No. What about the recent one they said that he's a hero, but some people say he was
not a hero.
He was an AWOL, right?
He was a deserter. Yeah.
So was it classic? Did they finally figure out that he really did desert?
Don't make too much about Bergdahl. The point is to empty Gitmo. The point is Barack Obama is a campaign promise. It is how he was elected in 2008, and he got a lot of shit in 2012 because he hadn't done it for lives.
They released one of our guy, and we had to release 5 there. And now it's in the news.
He's emptying Gitmo, but he's not going to keep.
Yeah, but did you read the news?
He's giving them back.
Yeah.
Did you read the news that one of the 5 happened to be one of the guys behind the 9/11?
Hey,
so we just let a 9/11 bomber.
They got pictures of one of them sitting in front of 10 American heads that he severed. These are the people that your fucking president just gave back to the enemy. And they got to stay in Qatar for a year and sip drinks and sit and conspire. They're not going to get back in the fight. Are you freaking kidding me?
They're already in the fight.
We have just pulled out of Iraq and Afghanistan. Now Barack Obama first says, "Oh, Iraq, y'all on your own."
I wonder if they're going to put cute little umbrellas in the drinks.
They probably will. Some gold-plated. Gold-plated. And also, how much money did we give our enemy to in that exchange?
There's always capital exchange.
There's always money.
There's so much conspiracy.
To get back someone who has converted to Islam and has joined the Taliban.
Exactly.
To bring them home.
That's
the soldier we got back.
This is just like Homeland.
Okay, so he's not even a Christian.
No, he converted to Islam and walked away.
Well, we should have left him over there.
Taliban.
He was right where he needed to be.
And but you know what? Our Secretary of Defense got up and said, he goes, "We're not worried about whether he deserves. We'll figure that out when we get home. He's an American." No, sir. You surrendered your citizenship the minute you walked out of that army base and walked into the arms of the Taliban and grew your damn beard out. Yeah, they probably held him in a cage for a little while because they had to prove that he wasn't a, whatever. There's some theory that he's a CIA.
Well, we saw videos of him, and he was eating pretty damn good. And you know, they'll never feed our people like that.
We got him out because his health was in danger. Dude, he looked better than me.
Yeah.
Okay,
and did you notice he was off?
Yeah.
One eye.
But he looked better. He looked better than those students that was held.
Dude, that Boko Haram just took 20 more Nigerian girls. And Michelle Obama sitting there with her little sign. Free our girls, or something like that.
Yeah,
why don't you go free them? You know where they are. They act like they can't find these people. They can find me and you hunker down somewhere. They can find Boko Haram. Go bomb that.
I will agree that they did. They found Saddam in a rock, down in the ground in a cave.
They found Osama bin Laden too.
Yeah, so
if we don't know because we didn't get the pleasure of seeing his body.
Do y'all think he's still alive?
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, I do too.
You think he's being protected custody?
Yep.
I think he's in Gitmo.
Yep.
Or under the White House advising Obama on everything to do.
He's at the Vatican.
He's at the Vatican. He's at the Vatican. In the bottom chamber. That's right. You tell the Pope, hey, this is what you're going to do. Yeah.
Oh, my God. That's the best I heard yet. Oh, y'all are crazy tonight. All right. Next line of business here. Let's talk about, wow, that y'all just
I go all day.
Y'all just do it for the, it's kind of a twist, but I think it's something that we should hit on because we are talking about government conspiracy and cover. This might be something that, I don't know, this is going to be challenging for Miss Mel.
Okay.
Dealing with the government, thinking about government. Yeah. UFOs.
Oh, they're so real.
Yeah, she's on it too. Here we go.
Yeah, it's all
so do you believe in this?
Yes.
Phenomenon?
Absolutely.
Do you believe there's other creatures come from other planets?
Yeah, but I don't think they're aliens.
Well, tell us what you think.
I think they're demons.
Demons? Fly around spaceships?
Well, does the Bible say what a demon looks like?
Well,
no.
Not necessarily. So you think
I don't think we're alone, no, for sure. The Vatican very much believes in aliens. They believe, there's a book, Tom Warren? Called Exo Vaticana that's coming out that they did a bunch of research about how the Vatican is very much interested in aliens. They have the world's most powerful, expensive telescope in the world, and it's in Arizona, and it's called the Lucifer Telescope.
The Lucifer Telescope.
Yes, and the Vatican owns it.
Surprise.
Now, why are they so interested? Why are they spending all their money
Wait a
on
minute.
big
Hold on a
old-
second.
it's
Whoa!
the
Rewind.
Lucifer.
Yeah, I just caught this. The Vatican owns a telescope that's called the Lucifer.
Yeah, the Lucifer Telescope.
Now, that's just sacrilegious.
See?
That is really weird.
Mm-hmm.
Did you catch all that, Miss Sharee?
Yes.
That aliens are going to come and they're going to solve all the problems. They're going to heal the earth. They're going to tell us how to solve all of our problems, and that's going to be.
That's why the Pope said Jesus wasn't coming back, because the aliens are going to come back and save us.
If you think that everything he does totally adds up to them doing the things that they do.
Wow. This is amazing.
Exo Vaticana, people. Exo Vaticana. Read the book. Go to the website, exovaticana.com. You can find out all you need to know. They got some weird stuff that they do in the Vatican. And they do child sacrifices. It's really just pagan. It's
Child sacrifices?
Yes. They are Pope Benedict, that resigned, that never happens.
That Pope never resigned.
They are being tried for crimes against humanity for child trafficking. Queen Elizabeth is being tried. Pope Francis is being under investigation for child trafficking and child sacrificing. They found a grave in Ireland that had 800 kids that had been dismembered and decapitated. There is a woman in Holland that has come out saying that she was tortured by Pope Benedict and a couple of other people that are like high up in the Vatican and world leaders. They have hunting parties where they let the kids go, and that Buffett was one of the guys. George Soros. They hunt kids. It's for sport, and they've got witnesses and victims that are testifying in a trial right now that's going on.
Wow.
And they've got evidence of child mutilation, child trafficking, murder, going back 20 years, 30 years.
What is going on in this world?
Yeah.
What is really going on?
Well, you know, think about it. It's going to be the days, like the days of Noah.
Yeah.
When the end of days comes. And I have never seen such sin and disgusting, evil stuff.
Especially against children.
Yeah, children.
Yeah, I mean, where does it stop? I mean, where does the draw point? There's got to be.
And I mean, they're being investigated for not, persecuting the priests that were busted for child molestation.
Yeah, all they did was move them to a different place.
Yeah, they just moved them.
Yeah.
So what else have we not touched bases on that you know that's going on?
We could talk about border wars. We could talk about
Now something, come to think of something that you just mentioned now. What do you think about that he just opened up the borders and said they could come over here?
Doing. I don't know what he's
and what
doing
about
with
the
all those
cartel
kids.
and the drugs across the border?
Are coming. David Michael Lynch had a YouTube video on this morning. He was on Megyn Kelly last night showing he was down at the border. There's Border Patrol vehicles and stuff all along the border during the day, but at 5 o'clock they go home. And he has on camera them going in swift boats across the Rio Grande, bringing drugs, bringing people, bringing whatever. And Obama's told the Border Patrol that they cannot deport anybody. And right now they've got, like in several military bases, they've got thousands of these kids that are like parentless. What is this? Where are they coming from? Why are we having this influx of kids? And then I saw a little immigration attorney pull one up and put her on his lap and go, how could you turn away this little girl? This is the future of America.
Oh my goodness.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Where are their parents?
Where are their parents?
The parents are sending them over, huh?
Yeah, I guess.
so they
their
come back and
parents
get
are
married.
dead.
6-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old kids.
Or their parents are being killed by the cartel and the kids are coming
Or their
over.
parents are already over. Or I don't know. I cannot figure out why
And
he's
they're not
doing this.
telling you exactly where these kids are coming
They
from.
They say Central America.
Well, that could be anywhere.
Dude,
Costa Rica, Honduras,
they're saying
Mexico.
that, but they're not Mexicans.
No.
None of them say they're Mexicans.
Panamanians. It could be anything.
Yeah, but
It's a
But
cover, right? It's a
how
cover.
do they know
it's
to
like in
come
the last
through?
2 weeks. In the last 2 weeks, you know why? Because Barack Obama opened our borders. He opened our borders, and Texans, watch out, because they're being dumped in San Antonio at Lackland. They're there. There's thousands of them. They have diseases.
Now they're complaining because
they're complaining
the kids,
because the sick, their food, it's
and
crowded.
They don't have any room for them. They're sleeping on floors.
Well, David Michael Lynch pointed out that don't believe any of that crap. This is a step up for them. They're happy. All these kids are excited.
Well, okay,
to be
think
here.
about
this
where
is like a
where they-
step up in the conditions that they normally would be in.
Right, because think about where they're coming from.
Yeah.
You're not going to leave a good place to go to something that's just
But
the same.
these are little kids. Why are they here? Why do we have all these thousands of kids all of a sudden?
Because the parents are making a run and says they're not going to turn you back, so
and
go.
then they were going to anchor in.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Look for your wage to go down. Jose
taxes.
going to get your job, and
Your taxes are going to
your
go up.
taxes are going to go up.
Yeah,
They're
so-
going to flood the medical system as
So
well.
we have to worry about Enrique.
Oh, and don't
Not
forget
Enrique, just Javier and Jose.
all the financial aid that you would get to send your children to college will no longer go to
No.
your kids. They're going to go.
They're going to be dreamers. The dreamers are the new Americans.
Yes.
And they're going to be Barack Obama's future army or whoever's leading the country, Hillary Clinton or whoever. Or Mitt Romney or whoever. Whoever it is.
Whatever
He's already
puppet,
chosen. Know that.
whatever
Whoever it
puppet is in play at that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the yes has already been chosen.
So
Yeah.
let's talk about that while we're talking about future. The future, it's going to be time to be voting soon. I mean, 2016 is not that far.
Mm-hmm.
Our votes are not going to matter because they
True.
already know
And I
who
know
it is.
But who do y'all
I
think-
can't sleep at night without voting.
But who
I have
do you?
to vote.
But
I
who do
can't
you
help it.
think? I've heard rumors that Hillary Clinton's going to run.
I don't think
I've
it's going
heard.
to be her. I think she's going to run, but I don't think it's going to be
Watch
her.
her get sick and then Chelsea comes in to
See, that's what I was
save the
thinking.
day.
I heard Jeb Bush is going to run.
Oh, Jeb Bush is a tool.
But yeah, he's going to
He's a
run.
tool.
But
He
I
can
was thinking
run all he
about.
wants to. Run, Boris, run. I don't think they'll put another Bush in there. I really don't.
I don't think
No,
so.
I don't think so either.
I think America's had enough of Bush.
Yeah, they've had enough Bush, and I personally think they've had enough Clinton.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll.
I
be,
agree
I
on
don't think
that.
it'll be. I don't think it'll be anybody from the Bush family or the Clinton family.
I hope not.
What about another person in the Obama family?
Michelle could run. That sister be mean.
She'd be mean.
She'd be meaner than hell. She's worse than he is. She's
Well,
like
we'll
a
all
Black
lose weight for
Panther
sure.
hater.
But we would all lose weight with her.
No,
No,
we
we
wouldn't,
wouldn't.
because
No, we
she eats
wouldn't.
French fries. She sat there and
Oh.
tells our kids eat
No.
that shit. She don't eat that shit.
Oh.
She's
Okay, you
not
know
dogging
why?
them fries
Okay, you know
and-
why we would not lose
and
weight?
ice cream. and
I thought she was
everything else.
all for
No,
healthiness.
that's for kids.
No,
but
she
the
wants
reason,
us to eat the GMOs.
right?
Chris.
The
She wants
reason
us to
that
eat
we
the
wouldn't
Oh.
lose weight is because yes, she wants you to eat the fruits and vegetables and leave the fast food alone, but yet they will not lower the price so that we can afford that. Because that goes back to my thing about
isn't it amazing?
you want America to be healthy, but yet you will raise the price on produce to the fact that
Yeah.
a family of 4 can't afford to buy fresh fruit. They
Unless it's GMO.
Yeah, why is
Exactly.
it? Why is it that you can go to McDonald's and get you can feed a whole family of 5 for less than $20 on the dollar menu easily, but you go and feed the same family on Jenny Craig or South Beach diet and you're paying $4 or $5 for one little dinner. Do you know how expensive it is to be on a
It's
diet?
not- but it's
My
not
oldest
just
daughter
Jenny
went
Craig.
just on an organic thing, and I honestly cannot buy organic as much as I want to. An organic peach is like freaking $4
Wow.
for the peach. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if I'm going to spend my $4, I'm going to go to Starbucks. Never mind. I'm just saying. It is expensive. It's very
But why?
expensive.
Why is it that the good
Because
things
they
for us
don't- they
is
don't-
always the expensive thing,
because-
and the bad things are so cheap and
Okay.
so easily accessible?
They don't want us to be healthy because they want
This is
us.
part of the population control.
Yes, it's part of population control. But not only that, when you eat bad foods, bad things happen to your body. So therefore, you got to go to the doctor.
True.
So that's more money coming from your
Well,
insurance.
your body should
The
detox.
pharmaceutical
Pharmaceutical
companies.
companies.
Because all
Exactly.
they're going to do is give you a pill.
They're
Didn't Barack Obama say, Hey, she may not need to have surgery. Grandma may not need to have surgery. She just might need to make a pill. Have to take a pill to make her comfortable.
Right.
Make her comfortable.
Okay, because another thing about that, my
pharmaceutical companies are in the corporatism world. They are manipulating. They are so powerful.
My grandmother told her doctor about the aches and pains that she has. She's diabetic. She was a heart patient. So they give her all of this medicine. But each medicine that she has reacts to something that she's already taken. So she stopped taking all her medicine. Mm-hmm. She gave it all back to the doctor. And she said she's never felt better.
Yeah.
But the doctor,
it's not surprising.
The doctor goes, but you need to take your medicine. So she told him, she said, okay, write me all new prescriptions for everything. She says, I refuse to take my medicine. Mm-hmm. She said, there's no reason. Fine. Right. She said her hair started falling out. Mm-hmm. There's no reason. Why?
And those doctors get commissions from the pharmaceutical
She goes,
companies.
they don't even know. They go, well, all your tests came back fine. We don't even know what's wrong with you. And she goes,
why did she got a prescription?
It all comes, she goes, that's what it is. She goes, it's the medicine that is making me sick.
And the thing is, the sad thing is, your grandma is one of the few smart people that can deduce this. Mm-hmm. We all walk around like cattle being steered, and we believe everything they tell us. If your doctor tells you that,
yep.
Question your doctor.
Definitely.
Question your doctor. Question everything. Do not take and eat a shit sandwich with a smile. You've got to think.
Because
you've got to think.
Who knows your body better than you?
Right. Right. I mean, if you've got cancer, yes, you know they're going to put some poison in your ass. It's going to make you sick because it's got to kill the cancer.
Right.
But I personally think they could have cured cancer a long time ago.
Oh,
but the pharmaceutical companies make most of their money off of that.
You can't tell me.
And they're spraying the shit in the air and leaking shit out of radio. Hey, we've got lots of nuclear power plants that have had lots of problems. They're leaking up in Hanford, and the water's all messed up. We're all being radiated. And guess what? We're sick. And we got cancer, and we need to go
But you can't tell me that they don't have a cure for cancer for the rich people.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Hell, I think they got a cure for AIDS. They just ain't telling.
Okay,
Magic have life extending.
Look at Magic Johnson.
That motherfucker. He's still going.
He's still going.
He's going better than me.
He look good, though.
He got weight on him and everything.
I'm sure he can.
He's not showing any signs of being HIV.
They gave him a drug that keeps him from spreading his.
Because normally HIV people are skinny. They stick to them. He's eating good. He's got a good.
He looks great.
But you go to somebody, an inner city person that's living paycheck to paycheck, and can't even afford to buy the medicine.
They're all ate up with lesions and weight.
Exactly.
Yeah. And got, Kaposi sarcoma and
everything else.
And
everything else. It's like, you know what? It'll fade.
Well, there is theories that AIDS was engineered by the U.S. to depopulate Africa.
Yes, I believe that
because everybody wants Africa. Africa is mineral and natural.
We talked about that.
Rich.
They're rich.
They're totally rich. That's why.
They got every mineral. They got every mineral you could have think of. Every natural gold, diamonds, silver, oil.
Yep.
Richest continent, and they don't know what to do with it, and the government has all the money.
Yeah,
it's not the people.
And you've got uncivilized nations warring over it, and then the corporations get in there and back whatever. Think about this, and it doesn't have to do with the government. You've got corporations, corporations that get in there and back rebels against this.
Yes, they pay the rebels to back them up.
Islam coming through the top of Africa, spreading down into Egypt.
But you have American companies that got
5-year-olds off of all the
5-year-olds in the diamond mines, working for 30 cents an hour and pulling up diamonds that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars and put them in bags and hand them over raw form. Of course,
Diamond is a great movie. It really is.
It is.
But they are like millions of percent of profit.
But these are child soldiers too. They take kids out of their homes, like in Blood Diamond, and they shoot them full of heroin and make them kill people. I mean, this is what I'm saying. I mean, the evil. I just can't fathom it. We are so sheltered in America, y'all. We are so sheltered. Open your eyes and look at the carnage.
And look at China. Sweatshops.
And
Walmart.
Apple, they were putting nets outside those Chinese buildings because they were committing suicide, and they wouldn't let them commit suicide, so they put safety nets outside the building. You got people trying to jump out of 10-story buildings.
They want to stop working.
Are so bad that they would rather die, and they put nets out there.
And bring them back in.
But you know what our government tells us? China's so awesome. China's so awesome.
Okay.
They are on the cutting edge. Their economy's moving because they
I know what we're talking about. Listen to this.
Our government is pro-China because we owe them so much money.
Right,
they don't want them to collect.
Yeah, we are.
Well, now you know.
We're swallowing and
Now you
everything.
know what they tell you about the don't shop at the dollar stores.
Oh yes. What? Okay, a couple of weeks ago on the 2020 they had a show, and they said, okay, what is in your shampoo? You know, they said people go to discount stores all the time because it's cheaper. Yeah. So they'll go buy their toothpaste, their shampoo, their mouthwash and stuff. Well, they did a test. Even makeup. You heard of the e.l.f. makeup, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And they go buy their makeup and stuff. They went in the store, bought the makeup, took it to a scientist. All the chemicals that are in there, that you're putting on your face, that you're putting in your hair, those are things that are not supposed to be in there. And they're telling you that this stuff, right? Because they went to Mac and they're like, okay, we bought this at the discount store. And Mac is like, okay, this is our product. And they tested Mac. There's no chemicals. I mean, there's like copper.
A big thing about Mac.
This is the same thing where they busted Dollar General, had the supposedly ibuprofen pills, and they chopped it up, and they found out the pill was actually pure sheetrock coming from China. It was sheetrock material, not real pill. So people are just in sheetrock.
Oh my God, I'm never going to the dollar store again.
That's what I said. Because I'm like, they're like, okay, people need to start getting tested because you wash your hair every day, and you're putting all of this stuff.
They're saying they had nothing but lead-based.
It had lead-based, copper.
That's why I say we all need to be tested for metal toxicity.
Yep.
I'm not kidding. I mean, oh my gosh!
I bet you a lot of people that have a lot of these chemicals in them, they walk by a black light, they probably light it up and wouldn't know it.
Oh my God.
They even have so much.
I'm going through my house tonight and cleaning out everything I got from the dollar store. Because I will buy some shit in the dollar store. But it's Dollar Tree. There's no more Dollar Tree for me.
No more Dollar Tree.
The party supplies and the paper stuff.
Yeah.
Is
because they asked the girl.
So it's basically old stuff regurgitated at the thing that's not EPA approved.
Yeah. Well, the China don't have the same regulations.
No, they don't.
But they asked the girl, and said, well, do you know that you're selling chemicals? And I'm like, first of all, you don't need to ask her, because she is the person doing the cash register.
She's not going to know that.
This is not her business.
She doesn't order the product.
Exactly.
She's just ringing them up. She's making her $5, $6 an hour, or whatever.
Thinking, oh my gosh, I just took some home like crap.
Yeah.
Now they're talking about. They said there was stuff in the baby diapers. So you imagine you put this down, you put them on your baby, and then they have these parents.
There had to be a dadgum gimmick on that Dollar Tree.
And then it's government infused, right? And then you wonder why all these parents complain about that their babies were breaking out and all over their genitals.
Walmart flip-flops give you chemical burns. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Well, and I can attest to it. I didn't know what I bought some, because I buy the cheap Old Navy.
Yeah.
Flip-flops all the time, 2 for $5, whatever.
You hear this, folks? Cheap will kill you.
Cheap will kill you. Okay, so, but anyway, I went and bought, what were similar to, your just regular Old Navy flip-flop at Walmart one time, and my foot broke out, like in these red splotches. And I was like, oh my God, I've got foot fungus, and so I go to the doctor, and he says, no, this isn't fungus. This is like a rash. He goes, what did you get into? Did you walk barefoot through your yard or in your garage or spill? And I was like, no. And he gave me some ointment, and it got better. Well, he told me, if you don't have any like $500 shoes, whatever you wear most of the time, you need to probably throw it away. Well,
really?
I wear flip-flops unless I'm at work. And so I threw the flip-flops away. I'll be damned. Like 2 months later, I saw a headline on Drudge talking about how Walmart flip-flops, all these people have these terrible chemical burns from Walmart flip-flops and not to buy flip-flops at Walmart. And I went, that's what it was.
Oh my goodness. Now you can't even buy flip-flops.
But what about your buns at Subway? Had rubber shoe material.
It was the mat. Okay, the reason the bread was the way it was,
gross.
They used the same materials that they put in rubber boots and yoga mats.
And yoga mats.
That's why
bread. McDonald's used it to the buns.
Yes.
That's why the bread doesn't break. Why do you think you could take a Big Mac and it never rots?
Yeah, I did see Super Size Me. I saw that shit.
But that's why
and
now.
the fries. Is it in the fries?
It's rubberized. It may. I don't know.
But that's why.
Because they won't ever die.
Yeah.
No.
I have French fries in my seat. Like, I know in the crevice. They've
They're
probably been
just
there
come out,
3 years, and they look
Just
fresh.
need a little warm up in the microwave.
Yeah,
They're ready.
I know, right?
Well,
I mean,
that's why Subway got that new campaign now about the bread.
Yeah. Well, they
that
told me they had to
have
stop it,
better
didn't they?
ingredients.
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
Because they
See, don't make me see. Don't make me see.
Because they took
Oh
it
my
out.
God!
So we've been eating bread. We've been eating rubber boots, basically.
So we went
And
back.
I love me
I
some
went,
rubber boots.
I went
Subway.
back to Subway, and the bread does taste different.
And does it taste better?
No.
Did they just change
The bread is
rubber
softer,
that they
and now
use?
see, they said they liked the bread because it used to be firm and wouldn't fall
Yeah.
apart on the sandwich.
Yeah, it
when you
falls
could load them
apart.
up.
Well, because like
It's a
I
firmer.
like, I
It
like
holds it.
mine with oil and vinegar. Well, when it had the yoga mat stuff in it, my bread didn't get soggy.
It would get soggy. It would
Now my
Yeah.
bread gets soggy.
Yeah,
Okay,
that-
so maybe that should be. Maybe we should feel okay about that. Yeah.
That's why when I would eat a Subway, my meatball marinara would be crispy on the outside and wet on the inside, but
Yeah.
never went through. Now it goes through the soft.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's just see, it's hitting you from all angles.
Who would
You
ever
think-
think the clown could hurt you?
You would just have to not eat or drink.
Yes.
You can't trust the clown.
You can't
But that's-
trust a clown.
No.
For sure.
That
Clowns
McDonald's
are
clown's
freaky.
scary.
You know, they are.
That Burger
People
King
that are
was
clowns
too.
are not right.
That Burger King clown is a pedophile. I always
Dude,
said.
they're all pedophiles.
You ever seen that commercial where he was like, oh, you know?
Yeah, all clowns are like that.
Yeah.
They're there for kids that aren't terrified of them, and then I worry about the kids that'll go around clowns.
So you're in. so we know that we're ingesting stuff, not just from the chemtrails, but coming right out there and putting
out
stuff
of
in.
any product you use.
I mean, the next thing they might as well use rat poison.
You have to just research, and my daughter is the one that got me on that. My oldest daughter went on a thing about a year ago about toxic chemicals in your makeup, because now
Well, you know what
I
they put
think
in the
that was
lipstick,
her.
right?
I always thought that was her way of
You know
just
what they
getting me
put
to
in
buy
the
that
lipstick,
expensive
right?
ass MAC shit.
Yeah, now you know.
Well, yeah, I know. She's telling the truth.
Well, you know what to put in y'all's lipsticks, right?
It's like
It's baby fetus.
Yes, that's
oh, dude, they burn it. They
yes,
burn it for
like
electricity too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you got your abortion factory, Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, let me school y'all on some Planned Parenthood stuff real quick. And I know I'm going to get hate right now. I know it, and I'm prepared for it. I can take it. I'm just telling you, no matter what your beliefs are about pro-life, pro-choice, whatever, you need to know that you want to talk about a genocide that is never talked about. Planned Parenthood was created by a woman that was in the KKK, and imagine how many black babies have been slaughtered in this country since the creation, since Roe v. Wade. You need to think about that. That's all. That's all I'm going to say about that.
You taught me something I didn't know.
Yeah, look it up.
Wow.
Google it. Google it and let them see that you're looking it up, too.
Okay, my thing is,
Ugh.
in this day and age, we have no reason to be ignorant.
No.
We have no reason to believe what they're force feeding us because we've got the internet. We have
We
ways.
have the evidence.
Right, we have ways to look up stuff. If someone is telling you something that don't sound right or
Trust
you
your
just don't,
instincts.
right, follow that, listen to that first voice. I always say go by that first voice you hear because that's your true voice. Anything after that is trying to convince you not to listen to that voice.
And you know what? Don't take what we say for it.
Look
Don't
it
take
up.
our word for it. Go do your own
Research.
which is what I did. And it does take a long time. It takes a lot of reading and a lot of stuff you can debunk that you read. Because there's just idiots out there that don't know
Cheese
what they're
it.
talking
Get your own damn bag.
But you need to look it up and look at what, think about what people say, the way things are when you're told something. Don't just go, oh, okay, that's the way it is. No, not.
Okay, so this is we're going to talk about one more subject matter real quick, and then we're going to have to wrap it up. And then, of course, those of y'all that are listening tonight, don't go nowhere, okay? Because then we're going to have a quick song break at the end of the Rompapalooza. We're going to be back with the after the show. And that's where after the show, when the lights go down, that's where we're going to let her hear that. Then we're really going to kick it up a notch. And it's really going to be like a more informal about everything we talked about. And that's how so you don't want to miss after the show. You know that show is great. So I'm just letting y'all know, yes, the Crazy Chris special edition show is coming to an end here in a few minutes. But stick around. We have the after show coming up next, which is a shorter show, but we're really going to dog it out. We've got Miss Mel here. She's ready. You're going to stick around for the after show.
I'll stick around for the after show.
But the one other thing I wanted to talk about real quick, one way to end this out, is, since now you mentioned about with the abortion thing, racial tension. Is it government behind race?
Absolutely.
Are they causing the people to become? It's almost like they're trying to get people to be segregated again.
It's division. Yeah, they're creating division.
What do you feel? What is your take on this? I mean, and then I'll tell you now, and maybe you could just go into that too. What is your take on this, and what do y'all feel overall? What is some final things on it in general that we talked about tonight to help people get prepared? Obviously, this is all leading up to what? Maybe a new revolution war between us and the government. Could this be like the new war that's going to be taking place? Obviously, we don't want to. The government seems to be thriving on people being divided, so they're causing tension between black folks and the white folks. Now you got Hispanic people in the mix. Yeah, so we need to So let's talk about that. I don't want to jump to conclusions, so we don't get this confused. But what is your outtake on this? I mean, have you noticed something too, Ms. Sharee? I mean, do you feel like things are starting to go a little bit? It seems like now, here we know about Trayvon Martin. We know about the guy that got shot for telling the white teenage kids to turn the music down. We see an increased violence in racial violence again, where we thought was getting better. We know a lot, big progress made since 1964 Civil Rights Act, but now, and then we know, and yes, there's been some steps made. There's a lot of interracial stuff going on. A lot of people accept it, but to me, I think it looks like it's starting for every one step we're getting 2 steps back.
Well, there's a lot going on right now. You have the Trayvon Martin, then you have the kid getting shot by the white guy at the gas station for the loud music. Then you had the black kid that got shot by the white guy because he was knocking on his door because he had a car accident. He was looking for help. Then you had the black girl that was shot by the white guy. She was in the car. Her car broke down. She was looking for help. Then you had the black woman who shot her boyfriend because he was abusing her and her kids, and they want to throw her in jail. But yet they let Zimmerman go and all of this stuff. And then you have all of these things about the school shootings that's going on, which to me is just really random in all of these little small towns. And so then if you say anything negative about the president, you're either a racist, or if, heaven forbid, you're black like I am and I speak out about our president, then you get hate mail. Then, like Stacey Dash, when she supported Mitt Romney, all the threats that she got. Mm-hmm. So you can't speak out for the president because you're going to be labeled as a racist. Then if you're black, you're going to be, your own kind ain't going to want nothing to do with you. Then, you go, okay, well, there's a racial divide. Well, yes, the government is making this racial divide. So, I mean, no matter what you do, whose side you on, there's going to be a divide, whether it's race, whether it's finance, whether it's immigration. Heaven forbid that you go, okay, this is America. I know America is based on immigrants, but when will it stop? You want the people that are getting in illegally get to stay, but the people that try to go through the legal routes can't stay. What the hell? I can't, if I had a kid, I wouldn't be able to afford the health care, but yet I'm going to have to, somebody that's crossed over illegally, my taxes pay for their health care. Mm-hmm. Why is that?
Yeah, it's like they have privilege, but if you were born in America, you don't have privilege.
No, and you don't get to, but if you say anything negative about that, then, oh my gosh,
you're racist.
You're a racist. You're not an American.
Yeah.
You're being unpatriotic.
Mm-hmm.
And what gives you the right to be like that? So, to me, it's a lose-lose. You can't say anything. Nobody wants your opinion. Nobody, the government wants you to hush up. Mm-hmm. That's why I said right now.
They're going to tell you what you're supposed to think.
Exactly.
Period.
And if you don't think the way they want you to think, stuff happens.
Yeah.
When people disappear, all of a sudden, you on the IRS list. You've been paying your taxes all along. All of a sudden, you get audited.
Yeah.
Because you made a donation to a specific candidate, or
exactly,
or you put a Facebook post out that they didn't really think was flattering.
And all the people that do speak out against.
Be careful what y'all post on that Facebook, because the government is really watching
Mark
that.
Zuckerberg is standing there just handing them all that stuff.
But it's not just Facebook. You got your Instagrams, your Twitter, you got your cell phone text. You got your cell phone. But
Them dating sites.
Anything you have online.
But my thing is, for all those people that are so anti-government, y'all try leaving the country. Next thing you know, you're on a watch list and you can't get back in.
Yeah. You're not. There are people surrendering their citizenship.
Yep.
But I don't know. Look, this is the last stand. There ain't nowhere to run to. Believe me.
Yep.
So we got to defend this. And my fear is, and you can pretty much count on it. It's just a matter of when. The only way out of this is a revolution. Mm-hmm. And they're doing on purpose everything they can to get the people to revolt. The Bundy Ranch thing.
Yeah.
That was so close to being a full-on shootout, and that could have started it right there. Yeah. Because they have to have something like that happen so they can come take our guns.
Well, that's why all of these shootings.
Right.
And
that's what I'm saying. All these shootings are very suspect because they want our guns. Because then we can't fight.
But my thing is, you can't say it's because that all of these shootings are happening because of our gun control laws. Because I'm sorry, each person that was in the shooting, it wasn't them that went out to go get the gun. It wasn't them that got the application.
Right. If somebody want to go hurt some people, they're going to do it.
Exactly.
With a gun or a knife or
there
whatever.
Are other ways. The bad people are not following the rules and regulations to get a gun.
I know.
They're going to their buddy in the back alley and be like, okay, I got $100. What can you get me?
Yeah.
Plus, I need ammo.
Criminals are going to break the law. Criminals are criminals.
Exactly. So
the law-abiding citizens. That's what they are.
They're not going to the pawn shops.
Yeah.
And they're not going to the gun stores. They're going to the back alley by the left door on the side of the dumpster. Yeah. That's where these set up shops. Yeah. And they're not buying just handguns. They're buying semi-automatic, fully automatic.
Hey, and
hand grenades.
Yeah. Yep.
You can get anything on the black market.
Yep.
Anything you want.
So you want to take the law-abiding citizens, make it hard for them to get the weapons to defend themselves. But yet, all of these people that go the illegal way are be well protected.
You better be prepared.
Chicago.
Exactly.
What about Chicago?
Exactly.
Y'all watch that guy, Whatever Happened to Common Sense, the doctor of common sense on YouTube?
Yeah.
Love him. And he always says, what about Chicago? Because they have the highest murder rate and the most strict gun control laws in the country. Now, how's that happen?
And their kids are getting shot left and right in Chicago.
Yeah, you can't even be walking down the street.
Nope. You could be sitting in your car and you get shot. Mm-hmm. No reason, just sitting at a light minding your own business.
Mm-hmm. In a lot of cities.
Yep.
A lot of cities across this country.
Okay, so with that being said, and if you got more to say, we're going to finish that up in the after show. I want you to sum it up, Ms. Sharee. I want you to sum up what you think was best for our listeners. Overall, what can they do to prepare? They've been given the evidence tonight so far, and then after you say what you want to say, I want Ms. Mel to give her best viewpoint on what your focus plan should be, what people should plan the best way with the situation they're being dealt with, the cards that are being dealt. And then at the conclusion of that, I'll conclude the show, and then we'll be back in about 15 minutes worth of songs, and then we will be back with the after show. So make sure y'all stick around for the songs. I know if y'all got to go to the restroom or something before the after show starts, that's a good time to get up. You don't want to miss Miss Mel's song. She's got a dedication going to do. Miss Sharee, I know you got one. And then the other, so we'll do Miss Mel's and Miss Sharee's. And then there'll be 3 songs, it'll be mine, and then we'll be back for after the show. So that's your song break after this show. So with that being said, go ahead, Miss Sharee, sum it up, close it up with your final thought for this show, and what advice can you give to listeners based upon what we were discussing tonight?
My advice is question everything. Don't be spoon-fed, even stuff that we told you. Go check it out on the internet, Google it, YouTube it, do whatever you need to do. Just don't be in the dark. You need to realize what's going on around you. You know things ain't right. You know this is not the America that you grew up in. And my thing is, it's now start asking questions. Start getting stuff prepared because we don't know when it's going to happen, but shit is going to fly.
Yes, yes. And I'll echo that. And then also, I know it seems overwhelming. We're not saying any of this. I don't want to scare anybody. I'm not trying to fear-monger you. I want everybody to be aware of what is going on, and it may seem like you can't make a difference, but I truly do believe we can make a difference locally, and if anything, in your own house. And so have enough food and water for a month for your whole family. I'm not going to go crazy and say you got to bunker down for 7 years underneath your house. But if the power grid went down, or say oil prices, which are skyrocketing right now, say, we have a temporary, interruption of a lot of services, you're going to be so glad that you had a stockpile at home. And I know it's hard because everybody's economically hurting. Even if it was $20, a paycheck, that you start putting to yourself a little supply, a little backup, flashlights, things that you're going to think about when your power goes out, when you have a storm. What are you going to need? And if that was to last, 30 days, I think everybody can try and get to there. Organic farming, do whatever you can. It just depends on what your budget is, but just also be aware and, educate your friends. Watch the videos. What in the world are they spraying? Why in the world are they spraying? Watch those 2 videos so that you can educate people on chemtrailing.
And there we have it. There goes our music. Getting ready to end it up with Secret Agent Man. Those of y'all that want to know about that, that's Secret Agent Man from Johnny Rivers, 1966, by the way. Theme song for our subject matter tonight. This has been the Crazy Chris Talk Show Special Edition for June 20th, 2014, with guest speakers Mr. Sharee Walters and Miss Mel. Stick around. We've got some great after the show coming up, right after a quick music intermission. It's a good time to go empty your bladders, get you a refill on your coffee, because we're going to hit it hard again. It is a short show for those of y'all that don't know about the after show. It's technically a 15-minute to a 30-minute, so that's probably going to be more 30 minutes because of our special guest speaker. Actually, it's probably been about 30 minutes just about every time, hasn't it, Mr. Reed?
Yeah, we always go over.
We always get over because we get so up into this when we have these special shows. So we're going to play it by ear, but stick around. You don't want to miss it. And then if you are willing to take that challenge, stick around tonight after the show is over. There'll be an hour worth of music before the re-airing of the Crazy Chris Talk Show, and after the show comes back on, so you get the second chance to catch it of tonight's airing. There's an hour difference between that, and that's going to be our R&B flashback. So if you're into R&B music, you can catch all the great hits of yesterday and today's greatest R&B hits. All kinds of great artists. Luther Vandross. We got some, we're going to go all the way back to Otis Redding. We got a little bit of Marvin Gaye. The Temptations, you name it. So you don't want to miss that great hour, nonstop commercial-free, y'all. This is going to be the 4th R&B flashback because it's backed by Pop Demand. Y'all love it. It's great. I know y'all come back for the after show, but technically for this show, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Folks, get out there, get them comments coming in. Start lighting up that Facebook page. Get on that KGTR FM at yahoo.com. Don't forget that we are still doing Ask Chris, and you'll get your questions answered on the air. Go to KGTR FM at yahoo.com, or even post something on the Facebook if you have to. It's quick and easy. Whatever you do, make sure you don't put no personal information, but you can ask a generalized question, and we will answer it on the air for you. With that being said, we're out of here. We're going to let Secret Agent Man play us out, and we'll be back in about 15 minutes. Holla, holla!
Holla! Holla!